What's up, y'all? This really back with another video. Yes, and today we got to talk about the Miami Heat because I still believe the Miami Heat can win the East this season. But before we get into that, I need you to smash that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed to my channel, share it to somebody who ain't subscribed, because with y'all, I know I can get there. And when y'all are done with that, I need you to hover over to the like button and smash that too, so we can tell the YouTube algorithm to share this video with the world. But with all that being said, we got to talk about some of the reasons why I believe the Miami Heat should still be a favorite to make it out the Eastern Conference. Now, for me, one of the first reasons why I believe the Miami Heat can still win the East is because when you look at their roster, it is a deep roster that has some talent. You get what I'm saying? They have the size, they have the defense, and they have players that can score some buckets, right? And with the acquisitions or re-signing of Victor Oladipo, acquisition of Kyle Lowry and Morris, you know, they made some very, very educated and smart moves. They made some Miami Heat type moves, and even PJ Tucker. How can I forget about him? Because that was a huge pickup, especially for their defensive identity. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people put that under the radar because, yes, those players are not the higher echelon names, right? Like the Steph Currys or somebody signing Russell Westbrook, maybe signing a DeMar DeRozan. But those names that they got is still players that can go out there and hoop, right? Now, like I said in previous videos, I'm not a big fan of Kyle Lowry, but I cannot, unsee that it is some things Kyle Lowry do that a lot of players would not do, especially when it comes to charges, right? And this is why I think the Miami Heat is a very underrated team, as well as the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference. Is a very underrated team in the NBA because they can do a lot of things and they're so diverse in their game now, right? Now, of course, health is going to play a factor in how effective they can be as a roster together. But if they stay healthy, which is a big assumption, a big what if, I really think that Miami Heat can really do some damage in the East and make it out the East. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people is not really assessing that. You get what I'm saying? They're not really adding that in, factoring that in. They're not thinking about that, right? Because when you have a team like this that can literally switch on anybody, you get what I'm saying? Especially a team like Brooklyn, who's going to run that small ball lineup and try to kill you with threes and ISO. I think the Miami Heat would have the best chances of really guarding any of Brooklyn Nets lineups, as well as even guarding the Los Angeles Lakers, who's probably going to run big ball. You get what I'm saying? My second reason why I think the Heat is making out the East is because I feel like y'all are completely undervaluing what the Heat is going to do this season, and that's because y'all got a unfair example where the Heat was just hurt and just had one of the shortest off seasons possible, one of the two teams that have the shortest off season in history, right? I think the Miami Heat this season will go 50-32. I think they will be a 4th seed team in the Eastern Conference, and I do think their first round matchup is probably going to be the Chicago Bulls, depending on if they can stay healthy. But I think the Miami Heat is going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think they're going to probably go 6-7 games with the Bulls, depending on, like I said, health and depending on how they're coming out the gate. But I think the Miami Heat is going to win that series. I think the Miami Heat is going to have some tough, fun games in the playoffs. I feel like they're going to have matches where they show people that they are defensive monsters, defensive menaces. You get what I'm saying? But I just feel like y'all are completely undervaluing what the Miami Heat can do, right? I know y'all said the first year they went to the finals was a fluke, second year was the true colors, but how can you assess that when, like I said before, you had that team having one of the shortest off seasons in history? And if you look at the other team that was also alongside that in the Lakers, I bet you find a common theme, and the common theme was both of them was knocked out in the first round. But are you going to say the Lakers was a fluke for winning a championship? Absolutely not. So why are you going to sit here and say Miami Heat was a fluke for getting into the finals when they did not have a very fair advantage? They didn't have a fair anything. You get what I'm saying? The beginning of the season, they was literally battling through COVID, injuries that was lingering through the finals. You get what I'm saying? They never got a legitimate time to rest, and I feel like it's unfair. You get what I'm saying? Now, the third reason why the Miami Heat is still a team I believe can win the East is because of the buyout market, right? These past couple years, the buyout market has become way more prevalent than ever before because this is where teams can actually get those final 2 or 3 pieces to their roster for minimal contracts, right? And I think this season, I would really look at Kevin Love and John Wall that might approach the buyout market if they cannot find trade partners, right? I think John Wall, and I know I love John Wall, man. I'm a John Wall fan, man. He's my introduction. But I think it's going to be very hard for the Houston Rockets to get a trade off, right? At least for a team that he might want to be on. Like, if it's like one of those mediocre teams, maybe he can get on there. But I don't think he's going to get on the team he really wants to be on. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's where a situation happens where they're not going to truly get the assets they want. And a buyout might be more plausible, right? And I know it's a lot of money to want to do it because I think he's owed like a little bit over $60 million, which is a lot of money for 2 years. But that decision might happen. And I think the Kevin Love buyout is a lot more likely. And I know a lot of people heard the rumors of my Cleveland team basically saying we might not buy him out. But I think as the season progresses, I think that is going to be more prevalent. And I think the Miami Heat just got to be diligent, right? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other names I'm forgetting or not thinking of. But I think the buyout market is going to be very, very important for Miami and as well as other teams in the league. But really Miami, who's going to want to see what else they need in order to make those last couple strides to make a push for the NBA Finals.
That's Atlantis with that money.